King Solomon was more than just a wise ruler. He was a masterful observer of human nature. Within the pages of Proverbs, he meticulously details the traits of individuals, pinpointing which can propel us toward success or steer us toward disaster. Today, we're zeroing in on the latter. The characteristics Solomon advises us to approach with caution, or perhaps avoid entirely. Let's delve into these 14 types of people King Solomon cautions us against. This is a crucial insight you won't want to miss. So, tune in closely. Let's kick things off by discussing the deceitful friend. Solomon pulls no punches in describing this type. Proverbs 26, verse 24 to 26 paints a vivid picture of someone who might smile at you, speak sweetly, and yet behind that facade they're plotting or hiding their true intentions. This is the friend who agrees with you in public but undermines you in private. Their duplicity can be incredibly damaging because it's hidden under the guise of friendship and trust. Solomon's advice is clear. Be cautious of those whose actions don't line up with their words. It's a reminder that not everyone who is friendly to our face has our best interests at heart. This type of person uses their outward charm as a mask for their inward deceit. They are often charismatic, making it easy to fall for their pretense. The danger here is in the betrayal, not just of trust, but of shared confidences and vulnerabilities. When a friend uses what they know about you against you, it can leave deep emotional scars. Recognizing these traits early on can save a lot of pain and disappointment. Dealing with a deceitful friend requires wisdom and discernment, qualities that Solomon so highly values. It's about observing not just what people say, but what they do. Are their actions consistent with their words? Do they follow through on their promises? When discrepancies arise, it's important to address them directly and, if necessary, distance yourself from relationships that are toxic. Moving on to the foolish person. Solomon's take on this type is straightforward and stern. In Proverbs 1 verse 7 he states, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." This type of person isn't just lacking in knowledge. They actively reject opportunities to learn and grow. They see no value in advice or correction, often leading to a life filled with avoidable mistakes and unlearned lessons. This stubborn ignorance isn't just a personal flaw. It affects everyone around them. Foolishness, according to Solomon, isn't an innate lack of intelligence, but a chosen path of ignorance. These individuals often resist change and growth, preferring to remain in their comfort zones, even if it leads to negative outcomes. Their refusal to accept guidance can make any form of relationship challenging, whether personal or professional, because it prevents constructive dialogue and progress. The impact of associating with foolish people can be significant. They can bring about not only their downfall, but also potentially yours if you're too entangled with them. Their decisions can create chaos in their lives and in the lives of those around them, making any form of partnership risky. Dealing with a foolish person often requires setting firm boundaries and sometimes, for your own growth and safety, distancing yourself. Solomon's advice here is a reminder of the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who value wisdom and learning. Next, let's focus on the quick-tempered individuals among us. Proverbs 14 verse 29 gives us a clear warning. A quick-tempered man acts foolishly. Why is this significant? Because people who lose their temper quickly often make decisions in the heat of the moment, decisions they might regret later. This impulsive nature can lead to chaos in both personal and professional life, disrupting relationships and causing unnecessary conflict. Think about it. Someone who reacts rather than responds is more likely to escalate an issue instead of resolving it. The problem with a quick temper is not just the immediate outbursts, but the long-term effects these can have on a person's relationships. Others may start to walk on eggshells around them, leading to an environment filled with tension and anxiety. This isn't conducive to open, honest communication or a healthy relationship. It's draining for everyone involved to be constantly bracing for the next explosion. But what drives this quick-tempered nature? Often, it's stress, frustration, or past issues that haven't been adequately addressed. Recognizing the triggers can be the first step to managing reactions. Techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even temporarily removing oneself from a provocative situation can help manage one's temper. Dealing with a quick-tempered individual requires patience and understanding. It's about creating a space where emotions can be expressed healthily and constructively. Now, let's delve into the character of the proud. Solomon warns us in Proverbs 16, verse 18, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." This is a powerful admonition against letting pride take the driver's seat. Pride, by its nature, blinds us to our own faults and magnifies our sense of self-importance, often at the expense of others. It isolates us, as people are generally pushed away by arrogance and self-centeredness. Pride can be particularly dangerous because it prevents us from seeing the reality of our situation. It hampers our ability to take criticism constructively and to learn from our mistakes. Instead of growth and progress, pride promotes a stagnation that can lead to personal and professional setbacks. It's like living in a bubble where only your ideas, feelings, and contributions matter, which can lead to serious downfalls. Furthermore, pride can lead to a lack of empathy and understanding towards others. When you're too focused on your own life, you can easily dismiss the struggles or achievements of others, leading to strained relationships and a lack of meaningful connections. This isolation can often lead to a lonely existence, where true companionship is rare, and superficial relationships are the norm. Let's dive into the character of the slanderer next. Proverbs 10 verse 18 lays it out clearly. "Whoever spreads slander is a fool." Why is this? Because slander isn't just harmful gossip. It's a destructive force that can obliterate reputations and dismantle relationships overnight. Imagine someone spreading untruths about another person. These lies can spread like wildfire, damaging the victim's personal and professional life without just cause. This type of behavior is rooted in malice and can be motivated by jealousy, revenge, or a misguided attempt to elevate oneself by lowering others. The impact of slander goes beyond the immediate emotional distress it causes. It can lead to lasting damage to a person's social standing, professional relationships, and even their mental health. The trust that is broken may never fully be restored, and the victim may struggle with the fallout for years. For the slanderer, the temporary satisfaction or perceived gain from their actions pales in comparison to the potential for real harm they are causing both to others and to their own character. Dealing with slander requires a proactive approach. It's essential to confront the slanderer, if possible, and clarify the truth to those affected. It's also important for communities and organizations to foster an environment where such behavior is discouraged, emphasizing honesty, integrity, and respect for others. If you find yourself the target of slander, it's crucial to maintain your composure and deal with the situation with as much grace and support as you can gather. Remember, those who know you best will likely see through the lies, and your own continued integrity will help dispel the rumors that have been spread about you. Moving on to the lazy person. Solomon advises us in Proverbs 6 verse 6, "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise." What does this mean? Essentially, Solomon is using the ant as an example of diligence and hard work, characteristics that are starkly opposite to laziness. Laziness isn't just about being slow to act. It's a reluctance to work or engage in productive activities. This can lead to missed opportunities, stagnation in personal growth, and can burden others who have to pick up the slack. The consequences of laziness extend beyond the individual. In a team setting, whether at work, in family life, or in friendships, a lazy person can undermine the group's efforts and morale. Others may feel resentment at having to compensate for one person's lack of effort, which can lead to tension and conflict within the group. Over time, this can erode relationships and decrease the group's overall effectiveness and harmony. Combating laziness involves understanding its root causes, which might include a lack of motivation, fear of failure, or even underlying mental health issues such as depression. Addressing these can help a person begin to take small steps towards more active engagement with their responsibilities. Setting clear, achievable goals and celebrating small successes can also motivate someone struggling with laziness. It's also helpful to create environments that encourage activity and participation. Whether it's at home or at work, structuring tasks in a way that they feel less daunting and more rewarding can help overcome the inertia that comes with laziness. Now, let's turn our attention to the habitual liar. According to Proverbs 12 verse 22, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord. This strong wording highlights just how detrimental and despised this behavior is. Habitual liars weave complex webs of deceit that can trap not just themselves, but also those around them. These are individuals who use falsehoods, not occasionally, out of necessity, but as a regular strategy to manipulate, gain advantages, or simply create a persona that isn't bound by the truth. The danger of being close to a habitual liar is that you can never truly trust what they say. This lack of trust can corrode personal relationships, professional partnerships, and even entire family dynamics. Lies build upon lies, and the truth becomes a layer buried under countless deceptions. For those entangled with a habitual liar, distinguishing reality from fabrication becomes a daunting, often exhausting task. Moreover, the impact of habitual lying isn't limited to just interpersonal relationships. It can have professional repercussions as well. In the workplace, for instance, a habitual liar can create a toxic atmosphere of mistrust and paranoia. Colleagues may find themselves second-guessing not only the liar's statements, but also their own interactions and judgments, which can undermine teamwork and productivity. Next up, we have the stirrer of strife. Proverbs 16 verse 28 provides a stark warning. A perverse person stirs up conflict. These individuals thrive on chaos and seem to find pleasure or benefit in creating and exacerbating conflict. They are often at the center of disputes, not as mediators, but as instigators who fuel the fire. Their actions can make peaceful and productive environments toxic, affecting everyone involved. The motives behind stirring strife can vary. Some do it for attention, others out of jealousy or for perceived personal gain. By creating chaos, they manipulate situations to their advantage or divert attention from their shortcomings. The damage they cause can be extensive, leading to broken relationships, disrupted teams, and at worst, enduring hostilities that might have been avoidable. Dealing with a stirrer of strife requires a strategic approach. First, it's essential to recognize their behavior patterns and understand their impact. This recognition can prevent unnecessary escalation and reduce the influence these individuals have over others. It often involves maintaining professionalism in workplaces or calm in personal situations, refusing to feed into the drama they create. In some cases, it may be necessary to directly address the behavior or even involve mediators or authorities, especially if the strife stirring leads to serious consequences. Let's explore another troubling trait warned about by Solomon. The unfaithful. Proverbs 25 verse 19 draws a vivid comparison, likening the unfaithful to a broken tooth or a lame foot. Just imagine relying on either of those. Both are painful, unreliable, and fundamentally compromise your ability to function smoothly. In the context of relationships, unfaithfulness can manifest as infidelity, but it also encompasses any form of betrayal or failure to stand by commitments and promises. This trait erodes the foundation of trust that relationships need to thrive. When someone is unfaithful, the damage extends beyond the immediate emotional hurt. It disrupts the sense of security that is essential for any deep and meaningful connection. Whether in personal relationships, business dealings, or friendships, when a person proves unreliable, it forces others around them to reconsider their expectations and dependence on that person, often leading to a withdrawal of trust and support. Addressing unfaithfulness can be challenging. It often requires a frank confrontation and a decision about the future of the relationship. Can trust be rebuilt? Is the relationship salvageable? These are difficult questions that need addressing. For those on the receiving end of unfaithfulness, it might also involve seeking support from friends, family, or professionals to navigate the complex emotions and decisions that follow. Next, let's delve into the character of the gossip. Solomon warns us clearly in Proverbs 20 verse 19, advising not to associate with one who flatters with their lips and spills secrets. Gossips are those who engage in spreading rumors or sensitive information without permission, often under the guise of friendly chatter. This behavior is not only disrespectful, but can also be incredibly damaging, as it breaches trust and spreads potentially harmful information that can ruin reputations and relationships. The impact of gossip can be profound. It creates an atmosphere of mistrust and paranoia. People begin to wonder who they can trust and fear that their private words might become public fodder. This can lead to a breakdown in open communication and cause isolation within groups, as individuals may withdraw in order to protect themselves from being the subject of gossip. Dealing with a gossip effectively requires assertiveness, setting clear boundaries about what is acceptable to talk about, directly confronting gossiping behavior, and refusing to partake in or encourage such discussions are crucial steps. It's important to communicate that gossiping is harmful and not welcome in your interactions. Let's talk about the greedy, a type of person Solomon warns us about in Proverbs 28 verse 25, stating, "The greedy stir up conflict, but those who trust in the Lord will prosper." This shows us that greed isn't just about an excessive desire for more. It's about how that desire affects those around us. Greedy individuals often create strife and tension because their needs and wants surpass the consideration they have for others. They may manipulate, overreach, or even betray to satisfy their desires, disrupting harmony and fairness in any group or relationship. The impact of greed extends beyond personal relationships. It can pervade entire organizations or communities, leading to a culture where unethical behavior becomes the norm to achieve personal gain. This not only harms the social fabric, but can also lead to broader consequences like corruption and injustice, which affect society's most vulnerable. The ripple effects of greed can therefore be devastating, eroding trust and collaboration, which are crucial for any community or organization to thrive. Dealing with greedy individuals requires vigilance and a strong ethical framework, whether in a family, business, or community setting. It's important to set clear boundaries and enforce rules that guard against selfish behaviors. Promoting values such as generosity and selflessness can also counteract the negative influence of greed. Now on to the mockers. Solomon provides us with insight in Proverbs 9 verse 8, advising us, "Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you." This type of person scoffs at advice and criticism, often using sarcasm and ridicule to dismiss genuine guidance. Mockers can be particularly toxic in environments meant for growth and learning because they undermine the seriousness and sincerity needed for real progress. Their attitude can discourage others from speaking up or trying new things for fear of being mocked or belittled. The presence of mockers can stunt personal and professional growth. In educational or work settings, their cynicism can discourage innovation and open dialogue. They often resist change and can influence others to also resist, creating an atmosphere of negativity and stagnation. Dealing with mockers involves understanding their impact and actively working to minimize it. Challenging a mocker directly often proves unproductive and can even lead to increased hostility or disruption. Instead, fostering an environment where positive behavior is rewarded and negativity is not entertained can gradually reduce the impact of mockers. It's about building a culture where constructive feedback and kindness override cynicism and ridicule. Let's delve into the world of the discontent. Proverbs 21 verse 25 describes this unsettling trait with a stark warning. The desires of the lazy kill him, for his hands refuse to work. While this might specifically mention laziness, the broader application touches on the never satisfied, always wanting more without the willingness to put in the effort. This type of person is perpetually unhappy, always looking for the next thing that might finally bring satisfaction, but never finding it. It's a cycle that leads to continual dissatisfaction, no matter what they achieve or obtain. The discontent can have a draining effect on those around them. Their constant dissatisfaction can spread negativity, making it difficult for colleagues, friends, and family to enjoy their own achievements and surroundings. This behavior can lead to a toxic environment where it's challenging to maintain motivation and positivity because the discontented individual sees the glass as perpetually half empty. Addressing this attitude requires understanding and sometimes intervention. Encouraging gratitude and helping them set realistic goals can be a start. Often, discontent stems from a lack of perspective or from not appreciating what one already has. Cultivating an attitude of gratitude can shift focus from what's missing to what's present, which is often abundant. It's also important to encourage endeavors that lead to genuine fulfillment rather than temporary satisfaction. Whether it's pursuing a meaningful hobby, volunteering, or developing deeper relationships, finding authentic satisfaction can help alleviate chronic discontent. These activities provide deeper, more enduring rewards that might help quell the constant yearning for more. Finally, we come to the evildoer. Solomon's words in Proverbs 24 verse 1 to 2 are a clear caution against such individuals. Do not envy the wicked, do not desire their company, for their hearts plot violence, and their lips talk about making trouble. This type of person embodies malevolence, engaging in actions that harm others and disrupt peace. Their behavior is not just detrimental to themselves, but to the community at large, as they often seek to lead others astray or bring them into their harmful activities. The presence of an evildoer in any environment can be incredibly destructive. They not only engage in harmful acts themselves, but their influence can corrupt others, spreading malice and violence. Their actions can lead to serious consequences, not just for them, but for the entire community, as they create a culture of fear and aggression rather than one of support and cooperation. Avoiding the company of evildoers is essential for maintaining personal integrity and safety. It's not just about avoiding negative influences, but about protecting oneself from potential harm. This may require tough decisions, especially if these individuals are within your social circle or community. Recognizing these types of people isn't about judgment. It's about protecting your peace and cultivating a healthy environment around you. Solomon's wisdom, though thousands of years old, can still guide us in choosing our relationships wisely today. So reflect on these types and think about how they might be influencing your life. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you won't miss out on any more wisdom from the past that still rings true today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.